Hello everybody and welcome to the East vs. West NFL Pick Challenge. I'm Bigtime Mike. This is Johnny H.
What's up?
Back on the couch for week 10. Heck of a week last week.
Yeah, it was actually. It was a very good week last week.
Very very good week actually for both of us in a sense, record-wise. I went 8-5 last week. You went 9-4.
Yeah.
It would be a one-game split for the winner of the week.
Stupid 4 o'clock games. Didn't get one right.
I got.
That's what screwed me over.
I got one right out of the 4 o'clock games.
I know.
One. But Johnny H went 9-4. I went 8-5 last week in week 9, which gave Johnny H the total of 86-46 on the season, and I am finally at 500. At 500.
And I will be the first to hit triple-digit wins, if not. Well, I don't think it can be this week. It'll have to be next week.
Well, I think if you do a clean sweep this week, you can.
Yeah,
hit
I think
100.
there's exactly.
You win 14 games.
There's 14 games this week, so.
If you win 14 games, you will be at 100 wins, but I doubt that's going to happen.
And I got the hardest one out of the way, so.
I don't think that was the hardest one.
When you've gotten.
We'll get to that in a minute, but I don't think that was the
hardest.
hardest
When you've gotten only
win.
2 Thursday night games right all year before that one, yeah, that's the hardest one.
Well, if you think pick-wise, yeah, the hardest one for you.
That's been my
Personally.
Achilles heel all season, those Thursday night games.
I kind of want to go back and look at this, okay? We're going to go back to week 1, because we're in week 10. Okay, so week 1, both 0-1. Week 2, I'm 1-1. Week 3, I'm 1-2. Because we both lost the Thursday nighter. Week 4, we both won.
I'm 1-3.
So I'd be 2-2. Week 5, you won. I'm 2-3.
I'm 2-3.
Week 6, I won the Thursday nighter, so that would put me at 3-3.
2-4.
Week 7, I won the Thursday nighter, 4-3.
2-5.
Week 8, we both lost, so that put me at 4-4.
2-6.
Week 5,
2-7.
I won the Thursday nighter, so that would put me at 5. 5-4.
I knew
5-4.
I knew what my record was going
So I
into this week.
am currently 5-5 on Thursday nighters because you won the Cardinals Seahawks this Thursday.
Yeah, that's right.
I took the Cardinals, which was kind of a bold move.
Yeah, I thought that was a crazy pick.
They didn't play too bad though. It wasn't too bad of a loss.
No.
22-16, an 8-point loss. But yeah. So I am at 66-66. I'm at 500 now.
About time.
Yeah, and I'm 20 games under. 20 games under you.
Yeah, that's why this puppy's mine.
With 7 weeks to go. So I have to get, let's see. I have to get at least 3 wins over you in the next 7 weeks.
Good luck. You're going to need it.
It's terrible. Terrible.
Tried to tell you. You picked the Browns and 49ers way too much at the beginning of the season.
I did.
Don't do it means don't do it.
But
now you know.
We're gonna start things off here with keys of the week. My keys of the week last week, as we go down the line here, my keys of the week, number 1 was the Bills and the Jets. I say it often that this part of the season is playoff football. Teams are jockeying for position. They're trying to win games to get into position for playoffs. And the Bills and the Jets, surprisingly, both teams are in position.
Yeah, they are.
Both in position. And the Jets defense last week, we talked about this before last week, actually, at the beginning of the show. That Jets defense, man, they just stepped up.
Yeah, they did.
LaShawn McCoy couldn't get anything going. The Bills' offense just looked lost.
Their defense really isn't that good, but I'll get into that later.
So, but that was my key of the week for the Thursday night. Going into Sunday, the 1 o'clock games. My key of the week, obviously, Eagles-Broncos. A lot of people didn't think the Eagles were going to win as big as they did. Some people counted the Eagles out in this game. Hell, I'll say this. At the beginning of the year, I did my predictions. And I said the Eagles were going to be 7-2 going into the bye week. Okay? And my predictions were we were going to lose to the Chiefs and we were going to lose to the Broncos. Those were my predictions. We were going to lose to the Chiefs and the Broncos. We lost to the Chiefs, and I was okay with that loss because of the fact that the Chiefs had a strong team at the beginning of the year. Hell of a run game. Defense was really good, and Alex Smith, he has definitely gotten much better with controlling a game. Clock management, the whole nine. I was expecting the loss. So if the Eagles would have lost to the Broncos, in a sense, I would have probably been like, okay, hey, we lost to the Broncos. We're 7-2 going into the bye week. This was my prediction and my expectation anyways. But the Eagles are now 8-1 in their bye week. Best team in the league. A lot of people have their doubts on them. A lot of people have their naysays. And I'm going to kind of get into something.
They intrigue me.
Their offense. Their offense. And I'll say this right now. They went out. They got weapons like Alshon Jeffrey. They got Torrey Smith. They just recently traded for Jay Ajayi, who had a hell of a game his first game. Hell of a game. Acquired these players, but you don't see them getting added in too much. It's more so your Zach Ertz, Nelson Aguilar, LeGarrette Blount, Wendell Smallwood.
I think we're going to be seeing less of him now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the fact of like.
I think Ajayi is going to take over that backfield.
Well, and that's my point. Is it's going to come down to the end of the year where they're going to have to make a decision. What running backs are they going to keep?
We don't trade for a guy just to not use him.
But that's the thing is they're going to come to the decision at the end of the year. You got LeGarrette Blount, Jay Ajayi, Wendell Smallwood, Darren Sproles, Corey Clement, and the punt returner. He's a running back. They're going to keep him for special teams, which is going to come down to, okay, LeGarrette Blount, who's a power back. So you keep him. Keep him for your third downs. Keep him for your goal line. I'd keep him. You go with Corey Clement because he's young and he's starting to progress. Finally starting to progress, learning how to hold on to the ball. He's becoming almost like an all-purpose back, going out for the pass and everything like that. But that's the thing is now you have 3 running backs who are all-purpose backs. Jay Ajayi, Corey Clement, and Darren Sproles. And Darren Sproles made it very clear he wants to come back as an Eagle. He wants to play his last season as an Eagle. Corey Clement's young, though, and he's progressing. And now you got Jay Ajayi, who obviously showed, hey, the Broncos are the number 1 defense in the league statistically, and he ran all over them. This whole team just ran all over them. I mean, Corey Clement had 3 touchdowns in that game. Jay Ajayi had a nice burst for 65 yards. It turned into basically an Eagles massacre of the Broncos. 51-23 was the final.
Get my take on this game later on.
So that honestly would have to be my key. My other key on the 1 o'clock games, Rams-Giants.
You'll get my take on that game later on, too. Trust me on that.
The Rams came out and just ran the table on the Giants. And obviously so. I mean, the Giants just don't have what was expected this year. They were supposed to be the NFC East champions, going into the playoffs with the first-round bye, and now they just went from the expectations of that to kind of just flopping. And
injuries are probably the reason for that.
And
when you lose everybody on offense, it's like, yeah.
And that's a true fact. I mean, they lost all 3 of their receivers in one game. One game. It wasn't spread out. It was one game. Terrible. So, I mean, Giants fans, I'm sorry. Just be ready to be in the top 5 for the NFL draft, along with the 49ers and the Browns. Okay? Be ready for that. My keys on the 4 o'clock games, I would have to say the 49ers Cardinals. I was expecting a pretty much a battle, more so battle. I mean, the Cardinals, they vamped up. They went out and got Adrian Peterson in a trade. He came out his first week and balled, and then after that, he just kind of became standard run for 4 or 5 yards here and there type of guy, and now he's rushing for lucky 100 yards a game. Lucky 100 yards a game. He's getting the ball. He actually has gotten the ball less. His first week there, carried the ball, I have to say, I think it was like 20 times. And he balled out, and then he came back in the next week and carried the ball for like 15 times. He lost the carries. And the 49ers, we talk about their defense and their progression, and now they brought in Jimmy Garoppolo, who obviously didn't suit up. He didn't play. But I see Jimmy suiting up this week. Probably not starting. No. Not starting. He'll suit up. He'll be in pads. He'll be in a jersey.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, suit up. But probably not start. But they are going to build something for him. I have a feeling they're going to build something for him because they are going to go in to the draft this year and they are going to get weapons.
No, a coworker of mine said something to me today, Wilson, and so I'll give him a little shout out there. He said to me, "What if the 49ers just traded for Jimmy Garoppolo to trade him to the Redskins to get Kirk Cousins?" And I started thinking about that, and I was like, I would be okay with that.
See, but Jimmy Garoppolo, he got traded to the Niners. It was a couple hours before the trade deadline ended. So it's something that they would have really had to work out. And right now, when you look at it... Yeah.
Like Wilson said, tag him and trade him. They could do that. And I was like, well, yeah, and then the Redskins can rework that deal.
They can. But the thing is the Redskins right now are in a formidable position for a wild card. So... whatever they have going right now, I mean, they came out and they beat the Seahawks last week, and the week before they played Dallas. They lost to Dallas, but they're winning games and they're in position for at least a wild card right now. They are. It's a few and far position, but they're there.
Basically, with the Redskins, they have 4 losses, right?
I believe so. I think
2 of them came against the Eagles. So essentially, take those away, they've only lost 2 games. Because, they're not as bad as people perceive them because of their record.
It's true. I mean, and Kirk Cousins, I mean, he started working, I'm trying to think of his name, tight end, Vernon Davis. Started working him into the offense, which has been great. You haven't seen him get worked into the offense the first 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
But now that he's progressed and brought him into the offense, got him working, got him the ball, getting catches, touchdowns, yards, everything that comes along with it. But the 49ers, I mean, aside of the Eagles game, losing the way they lost in the Eagles game, a couple big losses here and there, but they've come close to winning ball games like you've talked about. 7 games now. They've had close ball games.
I'll get to the 49ers later, too.
And the 49ers only lost by 10 to the Cardinals. 10 points. So, I honestly, that was one of my keys of the week because of the fact that, I had a feeling that this could have been a good week for them. It could have been a good week for them, but, the Cardinals came out and they won. Simple as that. We move on to the 8 o'clock Sunday nighter between the Raiders and the Dolphins. The Dolphins, man, I think, honestly, they're in submission mode, just trying not to tap out right now. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, they go out the week before and get hammered by the Ravens. And now they come out and lose a close one to the Raiders. The Raiders who... thought they were going to be on life support a couple weeks ago when Derek Carr went down.
Their offense still is, really.
Well, but still, I mean, they're winning games.
Carr and Crabtree are the only ones doing anything on that offense.
But they're winning games, and now look at the positioning. I mean, you have the Chiefs, who lost 3 games in a row. They are 7-3. They went from being the best team in the NFL to becoming not even the second best team in the league.
They'll turn it around.
You had the Patriots and the Steelers who have pretty much taken that position. Yeah. And with everything going on in the Steelers locker room right now, you would think they'd be distracted. But in a sense, they fixed that. They said, you know what? You want to be a distraction? All right, guess what? You're on the practice field.
Yeah.
That's it. You are on practice team, and that is it. We are not trading you. We are not doing any of this crap. You are going to learn that you are in the NFL, and you are going to clean yourself up and stop whining like a little, you know what?
Yeah.
You know. But the Raiders, I don't think they're on life support.
No.
They're not on life support. The Dolphins, I think, are. The Dolphins are on life support. The Dolphins and the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Bucks are literally one loss away from being unofficially eliminated from the playoff hunt. Because you can go 9-7 and make it to the playoffs. You either got to win your division or hope to God that other teams just stink it. But
this will just be a lost season for the Bucks. Hopefully they can bounce back next year.
And in a sense, it's. And we talked about this in week 1. Don't expect too much from the Dolphins or the Bucks because they are on 16-week football. They had their bye week in week 1 because of the hurricane.
I don't know if you can really say that at this point now because there are still teams that haven't taken their bye week yet.
I understand that.
Like San Francisco goes on next week.
Okay. But it's still the fact of they're playing 16-week football because they had their bye week in week 1. Nobody ever has their bye week in week 1.
Oh, I know.
So those two teams right there are on life support. They've been on life support since the beginning of the season because of the fact that they're playing 16-week football. And the Dolphins...
That game's actually next week.
Yeah, week 11.
Yeah.
Week 11, the Bucks and the Dolphins.
We both picked the Bucks that game.
We did. We both
actually might be a smart pick seeing how Miami's playing.
But look at how the Bucks are playing. The Bucks aren't playing great football. I mean, they lost to the Saints 30-10. So it's really they just.
Well, that's the Saints. They haven't lost a game since week 2. They're about as good as I thought they would be this year. So
I think really, Jameis Winston needs to stop. Putting the W's in his fingers. That needs to stop. I mean, you didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, Jameis Winston last week pepping up his team, took his things. He goes, "I'm eating W's. I'm eating W's. Motherfucker, play football.
You can't
play football and get a W." Stop eating your fingers.
You can't play football.
Bottom line. And if none of y'all seen that, I will find the video and I will post it up on my Facebook and you can see he's sitting there at the beginning and Deshaun Jackson's looking at him like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you, man? You really look stupid right now. You're not winning football games. You're not controlling these games for us to win. You're not putting us in a position to win. And then we move on to the Lions and Packers. I took the Packers last week. I had a little bit of faith in the fact
thank you.
that maybe, just maybe, Brett Hundley could have came out and...
No, he's Brett Hundley, and I tried to tell you that. He's Brett Hundley.
I felt a little different. I gave him the benefit. And it was a huge, probably mistake.
You're lucky to get an average performance out of him.
Well,
I realized that
this week might be a little different. Might be because they got the Bears.
I don't think
at Lambeau. So, but those are the keys of the week. Packers Lions 30-17 was the final. Again, Johnny H went 9-4.
Yep.
I went 8-5,
right.
which puts me at 66-66. Johnny H is at 86-46. He has 20 games above.
Yeah, that's right.
For the Covenant Championship that sits behind us.
My belt.
Right now.
For the whole season.
So we move on to Week 10, where Thursday night I took the Cardinals, you took the Seahawks.
That was an easy pick.
Seahawks get the win, 22-16.
Very easy pick.
Which puts Johnny H up 1-0 this week, and unofficially plus 21. I watched a little bit of that game. A little bit.
I got disgusted with that game. All the penalties, it seemed like every other play there was a penalty on Seattle. Like, I was literally yelling, let them play at one point at the referees. It's like, come on now. Let them play.
So basically, the referees here, the NFL, the league of its own, has taken a lot away from this game. I mean, they're calling penalties that you've never heard of before.
Some of it's self-inflicting, I understand that.
Yeah.
But the one penalty, I believe it was either roughing the passer or unnecessary roughness. I'm pretty sure it was roughing the passer. and I don't remember who it was. I wish I would have rewatched the play.
Mhm.
But the Seahawks dude broke the line,
Mhm.
got pushed, stumbled, and fell low at Russell Wilson. He didn't flat out dive. He didn't chop block. He got pushed, he got stumbled, and he fell into the lower half of Russell Wilson, and they called that flag. And I was like, are you high? Seriously?
Yeah.
He stumbled. He got pushed. It wasn't a deliberate, malicious hit.
And that's just like in the middle of the game. It was, I think, the third quarter. Russell Wilson dropped back. He threw a pass, and obviously. But he goes to drop back. He throws a pass. And one of the defensive guys from Arizona was literally mid-form ready to tackle him. Like, I'm talking like this is Russell Wilson, still has the ball, and the guy on defense was like this. And Wilson he had the ball cocked back, ready to throw it. Guy was already mid-tackle form. And the ball released. The guy was already mid-tackle form. Hit Wilson. They called roughing the passer.
How's he going to stop when he's mid-tackle form?
But
you
how
just can't pull back and be like,
okay,
whoa.
But this is how they called roughing the passer. Was the crown of the helmet of the guy. And he didn't even go crown head on.
Yeah.
Like when you tackle, you do lower your head a little bit because you're not going to go face. You'll mess your neck up. So when you tackle, you do kind of lower your head and go shoulder pad. So he went shoulder pad. The crown of the helmet hit Russell Wilson in the chin, literally underneath, and they called helmet to helmet, roughing the passer. And I'm just like, that is a normal football hit, like literally normal football hit. It was just the luck of the draw that Russell Wilson's chin, because of how short Russell Wilson is,
hit
his chin, and you call roughing the passer? I mean, come on now. So we're going to go into our Week 10 picks. We start off with the 1 o'clock games. The New York Jets taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right. So we're going to talk Jets and Bucks, right? We already talked about how Tampa Bay is struggling a bit, which they are. Everybody knows that. For starters, I'm going to say I picked the New York Jets in this, okay? Here's why. Jameis Winston is hurt and will not be playing this game. Now, I've even heard he might not be playing the rest of the year, but I don't think it's only going to be a couple weeks. Mike Evans gets suspended for fighting one game, so he's not playing. So there you lose Winston and you lose Evans, your best receiver. Deshaun Jackson, I don't know if he has it in him to be the number one guy anymore. You know, Cameron Brate, what happens to him now? Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be starting there. So, who's he? We don't know who he's going to favor. Whereas, I mean, target-wise, is it going to be Jackson? Is it going to be Brate? Is it going to be O.J. Howard? We don't know. They're going to have to really rely on the run game here. I think that's what the Bucs are really going to have to do. Okay? Which is a solid plan against the Jets. Okay, the Jets are the 23rd pass defense in the league and the 29th rush defense in the league. They can be beat, obviously. They've allowed 207 points this year. So running Doug Martin down their throats sounds like a good plan. Except, here's what I would do. I would stack the box. I would make Ryan Fitzpatrick beat you. Okay? I would make the backup play. Make him earn his money. Take Doug Martin out of the game. Take Rodgers out of the game. Jaquez Rodgers. Take him out of the game. So, why? Because if I'm the Jets, Josh McCown has secretly had, or not secretly, but quietly had, he's having a hell of a year, okay? He's passed for a little under, for 20 yards under 2,000 yards, okay? A 70.4% completion percentage and 13 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That's almost a 2-to-1 touchdown-interception ratio. That's not great, but that's not terrible. That's good enough to manage the game, and I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to manage the game. He's not going to turn the ball over. Matt Forte's hurt. He's not going to be playing. But Robbie, I believe his name's Robbie Anderson, has been tearing it up for the Jets. I just think the injuries are going to be too much for that Tampa Bay offense to overcome, despite playing that weak New York Jet defense. That's why I picked the Jets.
I also went with the Jets, too. The Jets really, even last week, showed that they could play defensive football. Dominant on defense last week. This Tampa Bay offense, like we talked at the beginning of the show, on life support. Jameis Winston, out. Deshaun Jackson, not playing the standard anymore. Mike Evans, suspended. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah,
Fitzpatrick got signed to the Bucs.
No, he's been on the Bucs.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's because Winston's played all the games.
Well, I still didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in and playing against his old team, that just gives the Jets extra motivation to get after him. Extra motivation to get after him. And if this Jets defense comes out and plays the way they played last week against Buffalo, Tampa Bay, they're going to go from being on life support to that plug being pulled.
I think they will.
That's going to be it. This Jets defense, honestly, this is extra motivation to help that offense say, you know what? They're doing their part. Let's get some points on the board. Let's win some football games.
Exactly.
And the Jets may, and can end up getting themselves put back into the picture for a playoff hunt and possibly get a wild card position.
That would be great.
I can't sit here and say get the AFC East because of the fact that the Patriots are owning that division right now.
Yeah, the Patriots aren't going to lose that division. No.
So it's pretty much a battle for the wild card position, and the Jets could honestly sneak in there.
They could.
Possibly.
Buffalo could just as well.
It could happen.
So
yes. I've gone with the Jets in this game now. New York Football Jets. Yes. I said the football Jets. I don't know why. But the New York Jets.
yeah.
We're going to move into the team we just talked about. They got dominated by that Jets team. Defense last week. And offensively, honestly. That offense did look good last week. The Buffalo Bills are at home hosting the on a roll New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. Yeah, and with this game, Kelvin Benjamin should be making his big Buffalo debut. So Tyrod Taylor, he's going to be liking that. Get your arm ready. I mean, we all know Benjamin can be a beast when he's on. And when he's off, he just disappears. Yeah, he's returning this week after missing 3 games because he sprained his MCL. So is that going to slow him down, his first game back? Does he know the offense enough? Does he have his rhythm with Tyrod Taylor yet? I don't know. So, I mean, then you got the Saints right here. Drew Brees, a monster. He can't find the end zone anymore, but he's still putting yards. They're still moving the ball. And they're playing against the Buffalo Bills defense, who's 21st against the pass. So Drew Brees has no reason to not light this game up. None whatsoever. And that's a big reason as to why I picked the Saints. Because the Bills' secondary is just deteriorated from what it was. And Breeze has always run, except for his days in San Diego, a high-powered offense. So, and their defense as well. I mean, it's the Saints' defense is 18th against the run, which means the Bills should be shoving Shady McCoy down their throat. Will they? I don't know. Will it be enough to keep up with Drew Brees? Probably not, because you can score a lot faster throwing the ball than running it. So, and the Saints, they're no slouch as well. Mark Ingram, they have the 9th rated rushing attack, the 7th rated passing attack. So it's like they're going to hurt you either by land or by sea, by air or the ground. So can the Bills stop that? I honestly don't think they can. So that's why I went with the Saints on that. I've been high on the Saints all year. The first 2 weeks, they slumped, but they have been money like I expected them to be from week 3 until now. So I'm not going to stop picking the Saints now.
Well, I have a little bit of a different perspective on this. I think the Bills are going to detour the Saints this week. I'm not saying detour them for good. I have a feeling the Bills are going to win this game. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills in this game. Because of the fact Kelvin Benjamin joining the Bills, and look at what the Bills went through in the past couple of weeks. They traded Sammy Watkins to go to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Didn't have really any weapons to get thrown to. They have LaShawn McCoy in the backfield. They needed somebody. They needed a key receiver, and bringing Kelvin Benjamin in, that boy is what, 6'7", 6'8".
He's
Huge frame.
Yeah.
He's tough. He's a good build. He's got speed.
He's
got the agility. A little fragile. But honestly, that Saints secondary, I don't think can shut him down completely in this football game. And I think that is going to be a key come mid-fourth quarter if the Bills are down, let's say, by 3 or 4 points. It's going to be one of those, I don't know. I just have a feeling that this is going to be either a shootout or it's just going to come down to whoever has the ball last.
That would probably be the best way Buffalo could win this game.
Have the ball last,
yeah,
and you got to get in the end zone.
Especially
and that's going to be it.
With Charles Clay coming back, the Bills' tight end.
And that's that. A key tight end coming back. You got Kelvin Benjamin start. I think this is not a perfect, but a slight, genuine setup for Buffalo to come in and win this football game. Not by much. I'm not saying they're going to beat up on the Saints. I can't say that because the Saints have been flawless the past couple weeks. But I have a feeling that the Bills are going to slightly sneak by in this game and win this game.
It
and
could
get
happen.
That win.
That's how they're going to win it. They're going to do it. They're going to sneak by.
We're going to move on to the Browns and the Lions. And I'm going to say this right now, and sorry, I'm going to start this one off for the moment.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
Matthew Stafford, I've been very, very on your case the past couple weeks.
Yeah, you had the noose around his neck, and you're ready to lynch him.
You came out last week, you beat the Packers on Monday Night Football. It was an obvious thing. Obvious thing.
Not to you.
Not to me because I had faith in Brent Hundley.
You did. I know.
I had faith in Brent
I
Hundley.
like to pick on you.
But the thing is you know what? Matthew Stafford and I gotta say this. This team started off so good. And the past couple weeks kind of fell off the wagon a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just, the thing is if you...
I think what hurt them is Golden Tate got hurt.
I want to say this. This is what I want to say. And I'm going to say this in the most perfect way I can. Lions, if you want to get back on track with fully winning games like you were at the beginning of the year, okay? You beat the Packers last week. That should put some gas in your engine, okay? You're playing the Browns this week, okay? Turn the nitrous on. Put the foot on the gas pedal and take off. Okay? Take off. Because this team can be good. This team can be good. This team can honestly sneak in and win this division yet. They can. Minnesota's a tough team to have to deal with. Crazy enough, Minnesota is a tough team to have to deal with and compete against for this division right now because it's coming down to the Lions of the Vikings.
Oh, hands down, the Packers.
Bottom line. Packers and Bears,
the Vikings took the Packers out of it when they hurt Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
So...
And I'm taking the Lions in this game. Detroit, I am taking you. Seriously, you added gas in that tank. Now get the nitrous going and put your foot on the pedal. Really put some points up. I'm going Lions.
I went with the Lions, too, just because they're playing the Browns. That's enough said right there. I mean, they should slam them. They really should. They should just pick them up, body slam them, run over them, stomp a mud hole in them, hit them with the Stone Cold Stunner, flip them off, and walk out with that smoking steel belt like Stone Cold used to do. So it's like the Browns really have no shot in this game.
We move on to the Tennessee Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals.
This one was actually a hard one for me because in my mind I see the weapons that the Bengals have, and then I know what their record is, and it's like, how can this team be as bad as they are? And then you have the Titans, who they're in the mix for their division. I think they might actually be. Are they winning their division? I think they are. They're either in first or second.
They're in first.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, they snuck in. They took first place in that division.
Yeah, they did. So, I mean, they're leading their division. For me, Cincinnati. Run Joe Mixon. Forget about this running back by committee. Forget about Giovanni Bernard. Forget about him. Mixon, you drafted him. Make him the feature back, and your offense will be better. Okay, it's that simple. You're not doing that. They're struggling. How A.J. Green didn't get suspended last week, and the Jaguars, dude, if you're going to give Mike Evans, if you're going to give one fight a one-game suspension, you might as well give them both a one-game suspension. But I don't know. To me, that doesn't seem right. But at the same time, I have A.J. Green on one of my fantasy teams, so I'm like, yeah, thank you. But with this one, I went with the Titans only because the Bengals, I don't think they figured out their offense yet. And I don't even know if they will this year. Whereas the Titans, Corey Davis, he played a little bit last week. He'll probably get more involved this week. Delaney Walker, they're not sure if he's going to go, but he probably will be. DeMarco Murray, I don't know what the hell happened to him, but I don't think that'll make that big of a difference. It hasn't so far. So I just think the Titans, they're in a better position right now. Their team their team knows their identity, whereas the Bengals they don't even know what they are.
I agree with that. I think, honestly, we looked at 2-3 weeks ago, the Titans played the Colts, and I think that game right there woke the Titans up big time because of how close that game was. And they were playing pretty much a dead-beated horse Indianapolis team.
Yeah.
And we all know where Indianapolis sits right now. I mean, yeah, they came out big and they won last week against the Texans. But it's still the fact of
they didn't have Watson. That's why I predicted them to do that.
That was the thing. Is Deshaun Watson
different team?
We'll talk. I'm going to touch base on the Texans in a little bit. I want to talk about this right now.
Yeah.
Is the fact that the Titans? I think that was a little bit of a wake up call. Of okay, we're playing a team that doesn't have Andrew Luck. We're playing a team that doesn't have a great running game anymore. Frank Gore, he's getting up there. He's starting to get the miles. The tread wear on his tires are starting to kind of go down a little bit. It's just, I think that was a wake-up call of, okay, this was a close game against a team that, shouldn't be this close to us. And now the Titans are firing off on all cylinders, no matter how they got to play. And Marcus Mariota, the crazy thing is I think Marcus Mariota still needs to kind of find what type of NFL quarterback he is.
I don't think he knows either. One week he scrambles, then the next week he doesn't. It's like, you're a rushing quarterback, man. You did it in Oregon. Do that. You were fine last year when you did it until you got hurt.
But that's the difference between being in a Chip Kelly, Oregon-based offense and being in the offense you're in now.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And Marcus Mariota, this is your third year in this league, and you still don't know what type of quarterback you are. And that's where if I'm the owner of a team, sitting back looking at my quarterback on his third rookie year, his contract season, you really sit back and think, do I want to move forward with this kid who has not figured out what type of quarterback he is yet? Or do I want to take my chances, offer another maybe 3-year contract, give him 3 more seasons, he'll be in 6 years, by that time he should know where he's at, and then you make your decision moving on. But that's the thing is the Titans, I think, are sitting back trying to think, like, Marcus, you really didn't figure out what type of quarterback you are yet.
Yeah.
Cincinnati brought in a new offensive coordinator. They blasted off the first week they had him, and now it's just kind of like, okay, we're going to go back to being the Cincinnati Bengals that started off the season. And, Mr. Ginger Snap himself, he just, I don't know. I didn't have full-out faith in him since the beginning of the year, and I kind of just said, you know what, I have no faith in this kid at all. Bottom line. I'm taking Tennessee in this game. So we move into a game that I think, and I'm going to say this right now, I think is a... If it's on TV, I'd watch it just for the sake.
I know what game you're talking about. I would too, just for the sake.
Bears and Packers.
Oldest rivalry in the NFL.
Oldest rivalry in the NFL.
That's why I would watch it.
Mitch Trubisky facing Brett Hundley, 2 rookie quarterbacks.
Huntley, I wouldn't really call him a rookie. He's been on that team a couple years. He should know the system enough by now
It's
that...
his 3rd season.
Yeah, he shouldn't... So...
But we sit here and say this, is Brett Hundley playing next man up, quarterback football, didn't have a lot of time to prep with the first team. sat behind Rodgers. Yeah, it's tough. I think that is honestly one of the toughest teams to replace quarterback position, because look at it this way is, and you go back, Brett Favre came in, didn't have too great of a season when he took over. Aaron Rodgers came in, didn't have too great of a season his first full season. Now Brett Hundley.
I don't think he's going to be in the class by the end of it. He's not going to be in that same class.
It's still, I'm not saying class, but I'm talking quarterbacks who just
took over.
They took over.
Yeah,
they didn't have a good first year, bottom line. And then they progressed. Look at Aaron Rodgers, 6-10 first year, 10-6 second year, lost in the playoffs. Third year, he won a freaking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, then. But Mitch Trubisky, I mean, he started firing on all cylinders, and then all of a sudden, it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, we thought we'd give the Bears a little bit of hope, and then boom, hey fans, let's give you this, and then we just kind of gave you this.
The Bears, though, they're used to that.
This, honestly, sadly enough, was a tough pick, but Brett Hundley, I'm giving you one more week. One more week, I'm giving you. After that, I'm just going to pick against the Packers the rest of the year. Hundley, you better get me a win. I'm going Packers.
I went with the Bears because Brett Hundley. Pretty much. That's the reason why. I have no faith in that kid. So I probably will be picking against the Packers for the rest of the year. So that's why I went with the Bears. Because the Packers, they lost Rodgers, it's over.
We're going to move into the Chargers and the Jaguars. A team you had a lot of faith in at the beginning of the year.
I did. I actually thought the Chargers would do something, but
against a team who we didn't expect to do jack because of what happened in preseason with Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
And now they're off to the races.
It's
Playoff
funny.
Position.
Yeah. It's funny with the Jaguars because no one expected them to do jack because of Blake Bortles in the offense, and then Allen Robinson gets hurt. Yeah, they have Leonard Fournette. But that defense, and I've said it before, I am a full believer in that defense because it's, in my opinion, the most ferocious defense in the NFL. They're just killing the quarterbacks. So, I mean, they're playing the Chargers. Beginning of the season, I was high on them. I'm not so much high anymore. I think the pass rush is just going to get to them too much and cause problems, shut down Melvin Gordon, disrupt Phillip Rivers. So, defense is why they're winning these games. It sure isn't Blake Bortles. He's just managing the game but not screwing it up. So, I'm going with the Jaguars again.
I'm also going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Just due to the fact that Phillip Rivers, he kind of did reverse psychology on everybody. Tried to, I think, at least. And it's not working this year. I think he needs to kind of go back to the drawing board and say, okay, I'm going to start off good and then flop come mid-season, because I think he tried to do the flop first and then try and pick it up, but it just didn't work. He kind of tried to reverse psychology, and he kind of reverse psychology to himself.
He psyched
himself out. Jacksonville, again, Blake Bortles, man, having everything that happened to him in the preseason. And now he's coming out and they're firing off. They're winning ball games. They're in the division hunt. They're in the playoff hunt. The Jaguars are playing 1996 Jacksonville Jaguar football.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's 1996 Jacksonville Jaguar football. Let's mind you, 21 years. 21 years ago. The Jacksonville Jaguars, first year, went to the playoffs, went to the AFC Championship game. Obviously lost. But
them and the Panthers, they're both expansion teams.
Yeah.
I wanted an expansion bowl that year, but it didn't happen.
But the Jaguars playing Jalen Ramsey, man. You know what, dude? I understand that you're trying to stand up to...
That's the dude that I couldn't remember his name with AJ Green.
Dude, Jalen Ramsey, dude, just... You're playing defense, man. Playing defense. You are freaking 5'5", 130 pounds soaking wet against a wide receiver who's obviously bigger than you. Dude, you can flap your gums, man, but don't get in their face.
Yeah.
Don't, man. You're going to get choked out.
Wouldn't that be something? I don't think that's ever happened on the football field.
Dude, just stop. You're winning. Don't cost your team anything. You're in a good position.
Yeah. That's the truth, though.
Don't cost yourself anything.
Don't be that guy
Yeah.
that costs your team a division or a wild card spot because you did something stupid.
Exactly. I agree. I went Jacksonville in this game, though. I went Jacksonville Jaguars. We move on back to the NFC. Two teams who are vying for position for the playoffs. One's leading their division. The other one's trying to at least stay in the hunt for a playoff. Coming out with a big win against Seattle last week. The Washington Redskins play host to the Minnesota Vikings.
I went with the Minnesota Vikings this game just because I think that Vikings defense is just good enough that it's going to get to Kirk Cousins. It's going to disrupt them. He's going to be hearing footsteps. Because of that patchwork O-line, he's not going to have blocking. It's going to disrupt the run game. It's going to disrupt the pass game. And despite the year he's having, Kirk Cousins is having a good year despite his O-line. I give him props for that. But I think that Vikings defense is just going to be too good. Just like pretty much all their wins. That defense is just too good. So why should it be different now, even though they're on the road? So I'm going with the Vikings.
I'm also going with the Minnesota Vikings. 2 words. Case Keenum. Case Keenum is playing quarterback. And I'm not just saying because that's his position. I'm saying it because of the fact he is managing that team offensively. Managing them.
It's not pretty, but he's doing his job.
Oh, no. Honestly, I think it is pretty. I think he's doing a miraculous job controlling that football team, that offense. I mean, their defense just plays lights out. Their defense just steps up when they know they need to. And honestly, I will say this right now, the Philadelphia Eagles, they are 8-1. They are a scary football team to deal with, but the Vikings are that team that is really, honestly, at the end of the day, they're scaring me a little bit. I mean, they're 7-2, 8-2.
I want to see what that team can do.
Honestly, this is one team I don't want to see in the playoffs.
That's what I mean. I want to see what this Minnesota Vikings, same with the Jacksonville Jaguars. If they can get in the playoffs, I want to see what those two defenses can do.
Yeah. So let's move on to the last 1 o'clock game, the Steelers and the Colts. I'm going to make this very short and sweet. Steelers are on fire. On fire.
Yeah, they are.
Colts, I'm sorry. You may not get Andrew Luck back ever.
Well, they're not getting them back this year.
But the possibilities of him, he may not even be able to play again.
That's a shame, too. The kid had talent.
So you sucked for Luck?
You ran Peyton out for Luck. How's it looking for you right now?
You guys really need to rethink your game plan if you have to get another quarterback.
Kaepernick's available. It'll never happen, but he's available.
Steelers are on fire. I'm going Pittsburgh in this game.
You pretty much summed it up. You have to go Pittsburgh in this game. There's no way that defense can keep up with that offense, and even that, again, the Colts offense isn't going to keep up with the Steelers offense scoring-wise. So I'm not even going to mention Pittsburgh's defense. They just don't have a team, offense or defense, the Colts. Too many question marks. They just need to rebuild, start over. That's why I went with the Steelers. The only team you can really go with this game.
We're going to move on to the 4 o'clock games. The Houston Texans and the once St. Louis, now Los Angeles Rams. I'm pressing my luck this week. Okay? And everybody's probably going to think I'm crazy for doing this because of the Rams putting up 51 points last week. Okay? Mind you, the Rams played the Giants last week.
Yeah,
okay?
they did.
A team that doesn't have a defense, no longer has an offense.
Sad thing is they have really good players on their secondary, and that should have never happened.
They do. They do. The Texans still have a defense. Their offense, well, they went out. They got a new quarterback this week, a veteran.
Who was it? I missed it.
I think it was
some dude who hasn't played in 6 years, I heard. And yet Kaepernick still can't get hired.
Josh Johnson?
That guy's a bum.
Josh Johnson, because he's mobile.
Kaepernick's no mobile. He's mobile.
I know. But still. I'm just saying because of the Texans' defense. I mean, I understand the Rams' offense. They fire on all cylinders. They can run the ball, all that stuff. But the thing is that Texans' defense, I think, honestly, can stop that run. I'm taking my luck. I'm pressing my luck. And I'm going with the Texans in this game.
I went with the Rams in this game. Mainly because the Texans' offense, they don't have one now. So, and the Rams, Jared Goff. And week 1, I called him trash, and he would have been a bust. And I ran him through the dirt and the mud, and he proved me wrong. He was terrible his rookie year. He looked like Alex Smith in his rookie year. Deer in the headlights. He had that look. He looked scared. He didn't know what he was going to do. He didn't know what to do. Now, I think it helps that Jeff Fisher isn't there anymore, too. That's a big help for them. But Jared Goff completely turned it around. He's not getting talked about like he should. Everyone's talking about Carson Wentz in the NFC like they should. But Jared Goff is putting up pretty damn good numbers too. And it shows with this Rams offense. And yes, it was against the Giants, but he still did it. And with Sammy Watkins there, if Watkins can stay healthy, that offense is only going to keep rolling like it is now. It'll probably even get better because they were rolling without him. So that's not even saying Todd Gurley, because Gurley is having a bounce back year. Because last year he was garbage. He couldn't do anything. I think the high scoring, I almost want to call them the greatest show on turf just because they were the Rams, but I'm not going to insult that Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
I don't think the Texans are going to be able to keep up, whether it's Josh Johnson, Tom Savage. They're not going to keep up. That's why I went with the Rams at home.
I will say, I do want to reiterate on one thing about this game, is the fact that you talked about Jared Goff and the Carson Wentz comparison. Carson Wentz has 10 more touchdown passes than Jared Goff. Carson Wentz has one more thrown interception than Goff. Okay, that proves the point that Goff has good numbers and he's doing good. He has, the passing yards are kind of on point with each other. The touchdown differentials there.
He's tearing it up.
The interception, Goff has one less. But when you put the ball on the ground and give the ball to your running back a lot more, you're going to have those numbers.
Exactly, because they like Todd Gurley. They have a better running back than the Eagles do.
And that's the point.
So that's why.
That's the point, is the fact that they put the ball on the ground. It's not so much of the fact that, Goff is throwing the ball out there and, hey, people are catching it all the time. No, it's the fact that they're putting the ball on the ground. I want to see the Rams face a team that they're going to have to gunsling.
I think they can, to be honest with you.
That's the thing, that's what I want. I can't sit here and say they can't do it. I'm just saying I want to see them face a team that they're going to have to sling the ball around.
The Rams are a team that I could see make the playoffs, win the West, and be one and done just because of lack of playoff experience from a young team. I think this could be a good learning experience for this team that could set them up for years to come.
I don't know if you're going to have much to say about this game, because I kind of don't. That's why I'm just going to say my pick, and that's it. You could talk about this game all day if you want to, if you have anything on this game. The Giants and the 49ers. I'm going to take... I can't even say I'm pressing my luck on this. Both teams are just terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going San Francisco in this one.
Before I say my pick, you're sleeping. My pick is the New York Football Giants. I slept on that one.
You look like you're ready to take a dump.
Maybe I am holding it in.
You gotta do it right like this.
The New York Football Giants. And you just look like you're constipated.
You sound like I'm a crapper.
I went with the Giants because ever since the 49ers got rid of Brian Hoyer, Bethard can't move the ball. He can't move the ball. And you can't score points if you don't move the ball. And I think despite that weakened offense of the Giants, they got Sterling Shepard back. So they got one of their two receivers back. 49ers have no secondary whatsoever. So the Giants should win this game. Maybe it'll be close, but the Giants should win this game either way.
Move on to the last 4 o'clock game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta, not as dominant as they were last year. And they have pretty much the same team. They have the same team that they had last year for the Super Bowl. And they're under the radar too. They're the team that stays under the radar from all the talk and all that stuff. They're that team. And they just can't seem to win the way they did last year and get to the level they were at last year. Dallas, same thing. And you guys just lost Ezekiel Elliott for possibly the rest of the season. The next time we will see Ezekiel Elliott will be Week 17 against my Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And by that time, you may not even have to see Carson
No, he would come back Week 16.
Not the same team. Dallas, you're going to miss a step with Zeke. You are. Still got Alfred Morris. But he's no Ezekiel Elliott. Can't cut. I'm going Atlanta on this one.
I went Atlanta too, and for me, this game comes down to Devonta Freeman, who hasn't done really anything this year. He's had one game where he's had over 100 yards rushing. That's it. One game. He's disappeared. He needs to come back. This game is going to come down to the running. It's going to be Devonta Freeman versus the committee of Alfred Morris, Rod Smith, and Darren McFadden. I have enough faith that Devonta Freeman can outdo those two. Why do I say it comes down to the running game this week? Because if you look at what Dak Prescott and Matt Ryan have done this year passing, their numbers are really, really similar. I mean, they're damn near identical. Ryan has slightly, not much, but slightly better numbers than Prescott. It doesn't help the Cowboys that the Falcons have the 8th ranked pass defense. So essentially, if the Falcons defense can take Prescott and Dez Bryant, Witten's blocking now, he doesn't do anything. Basically take that receiving core out of the game and make it running game versus running game. They should be able to beat the Cowboys. And that is the reason I picked the Falcons this week. Because the Cowboys are going to have to pray that their three-headed committee, their three-headed monster, can do something, can crack the code of the Falcons. Because the passing game is too similar, and Atlanta is a top 10 defense in pass defense. So if Dallas can't get their ground game going, which I don't think they will, Atlanta should take this one. It will be a close game, though. I don't see a runaway. But that's why I took the Falcons this week.
Move on to the Sunday Nighter. And let's just put it this way. If Peyton Manning was still there, if half the offense was still there, half the defense for the Broncos was still there, this would be literally the game of the week. But those players aren't there. So this is going to be pretty much I think, I got to say it. I'm going to say it. Shutout. I think so. I think this is going to be a shutout.
I don't think it will, just because the kicker can score points. It might be an offensive shutout.
That's what I mean. It's going to be the Patriots are going to shut out. We got the Patriots and the Broncos on Sunday night. Okay? I'm going all in with New England on this one. Because Tom Brady, number one, he's the GOAT. Number two, he can pretty much take a player that's down here and put them up here. He's taking guys like Danny Amendola, came from the Rams, didn't do jack, came into New England, and boom, skyrocket. Brock Osweiler, you stink. You're high paid and you don't do anything. Bottom line, you're not going to do anything in this game. I'm going New England.
I went with New England too, because for the obvious reason that the Broncos have too many problems. When you have a rift in your team between the offense and the defense, where the defense is calling the offense out, because the defense is playing their ass off and doing their jobs, but the offense can't do anything. Well, if you 3 and out so much, the defense is going to get tired, and then they're not going to be able to do their job anymore. When you have the defense calling out that offense in Denver and causing a rift, you have more problems than trying to figure out how to win a game. You got to figure out how to get your team back together. And until that happens, Denver's going to be a mess, no matter who the quarterback is. So you have to go Patriots by a landslide in this one.
Von Miller, take off the Old Spice, man. Because the offenses are starting to smell you. And it gives you away. Take the Old Spice off, buddy. Okay?
Yeah, that would help.
We move on to the Monday Nighter between, in my eyes, two teams who are just falling. You're very high on one of them. But I think they're both falling.
I am.
I think these are going to be two teams that are going to miss the playoffs.
I don't know about that. I think one of them will.
I don't think honestly, I could sit here and say I don't think the Panthers are going to make the playoffs.
I think they'll get a wild card.
The Dolphins, again, are on life support. Sadly enough, because I thought this was going to be a great year for Miami. I thought this was going to be a good year for Miami, at least. But with the first week, bye week, kind of killed them. It killed them.
No, what killed him was losing Tannehill. That's what killed him.
The Dolphins and the Panthers on Monday Night Football is probably going to be the least watched Monday Night Football game.
I don't know.
This year.
There were some bad matchups so far this year on Monday night. And the trend continues.
So, I pretty much spoke my piece. I'm going Miami in this game this week.
I went with the Panthers because I do still think they're a good team. I think they'll sneak into the wild card. They might not take the division from the Saints. They probably won't. It's weird that I'm very high on two teams in the same division. But one's a wild card team and one's the division winner. Heck, maybe they'll play each other. I would watch that game. But anyways, I think you kind of have to pick the Panthers in this game. I picked the Panthers. You have to pick them because I picked them. That's just that simple. No, I'm not that arrogant sometimes. But just they lost to Jaye. Miami did. Their quarterback situation is terrible between Cutler and Matt Moore. Which one is a step above the other? I'd like to say Cutler is better than Moore, but some games he doesn't look like it. If you don't have consistent quarterback play, then your whole offense is going to suffer. Ask the Denver Broncos this. So until they figure it out and get their offensive problems fixed for Miami, and just I think you have to go Carolina this week.
So there you have it. The Week 10 picks. Me and Johnny H had 6 differences this week. The first one was the Thursday nighter between the Seahawks Cardinals, which Johnny H won. I took the Bills. Johnny H took the Saints. I took the Packers. Johnny H took the Bears. I took the Texans. Johnny H took the Rams. I took the Niners. Johnny took the Giants. And on the Monday nighter, I took the Dolphins, and Johnny H took the Panthers.
Yeah.
So there are our Week 10 picks in the books. So I can either gain 6 or lose 6, or we can break even at 3-3.
Well, the best you can do now is gain 4, because I got that Thursday night. So one of your wins would have to counteract that.
It would.
So the best you can do is gain 4 on me.
This is true. I forgot about the Thursday night right away. I can't believe I just did that. But anyways, it's true. I can. So we are going to get into our segment. Well, not our segment. Johnny H's segment of... What are you calling it this week?
What pisses me off?
Johnny H's segment called What Pisses Me Off. What pisses you off?
I don't know if this is more of a rant towards the NFL or towards RCN, because I was at my dad's place watching football, and last week was a terrible week to watch football. Terrible, okay? The 1 o'clock games we had two options. That was it. Two options. The Eagles and Broncos and the Rams and Giants. Okay? What the hell? The Eagles win this game 51-23. And the Rams say, oh, whatever you can do, I can do better. We're going to win 51-17. Okay? Who wants to watch a game like that? Unless you're a fan of the Eagles or a fan of the Rams. Hell, if the 49ers were up that high, I'd flip it off by halftime. I want to see football, okay? When you have other games that they could have been flipped to, you had the freaking Falcons and Panthers, a 3-point game. The Colts and Texans, a 6-point game. The Ravens and Titans, a 3-point game. And you can't freaking flip to one of them? Seriously? You held us hostage in my dad's living room watching shitty football. Okay? Wasting our time. We weren't even paying attention to the game. We were bullshitting about other shit. Okay? This is messed up, man. I almost told him to put a damn Christmas movie on the Hallmark Channel. I did. He likes those movies. It's like, what the hell? How are you gonna keep my attention? A neutral fan of both teams who loves football and wants to see actual games play that are competitive. Okay? I get it. We live an hour away from Philadelphia. I get it. You have to keep the Eagles on to appease the local Philadelphaites and the fans of the Eagles around the area. But did you really need to keep the freaking Rams and Giants on when you could have switched to the Panthers and Falcons? I was literally praying to the football gods, please give me something to watch. I mean, what the hell, RCN? Seriously. You know, and then you wonder why. Well, maybe cable ratings are down. Yeah, they might be down because people are streaming for better options. They're watching that shit on the internet. So, it was just terrible last week. There needs to be better game. The networks need to freaking be like, we gotta switch this. We gotta switch this. We are gonna lose viewership because nobody wants to see this. Unless you're an Eagle fan, Rams fan. I know damn well the Giants fans didn't want to see that game. But stop worrying about viewership. If you put on the games that people want to see, that are close, competitive, the viewership's going to go up. Okay? So freaking RCN, RCA makes shitty TVs. But RCN, please do better this week. I'm begging you. I am begging you. Please do not make me sit through 2 blowouts again. Okay? That's all I'm asking. Please. I'm going to take a nap this week if you make me sit through blowouts. Oh, boy.
And that's what really pisses him off.
I wasted 3 hours of my life that I'll never get back.
All right, well, that's it.
If it wasn't for quality time with my dad, it would have been a wash.
So there's the picks.
Yep.
You heard what pissed Johnny H off this week.
And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. So to the channel, be greatly, greatly appreciated.
So this week, again, we got the NFL action this week. In entertainment, we got The Walking Dead on Sunday. It's been a great season so far.
I know. I'm dying to see who survived that ambush. Hey, that's not a spoiler. Because if you haven't seen it now, almost a week in, then, hey, that's your own fault.
Yes. Got season 8 of The Walking Dead underway, which, again, has been a great season.
Yes.
College basketball tipped off last night.
Yes, it did.
So, excited about that. Go Tar Heels.
Rock Chalk Jayhawks. Go Jayhawks.
Hockey season's underway. NBA season's underway.
Cry, LeBron, cry.
Baseball's over. Congratulations again to the Houston Astros. So, yeah. Me and Johnny H will be back on the couch next week. That's it. Thank you guys for joining us. As I always say, good luck to your teams this week. If they win, awesome. If they lose, I apologize. Teams that are on the bye week this week are the Eagles, Raiders, Ravens, and Chiefs. So anybody who are fans of those teams, if you do not realize that your team is on a bye week, well, there you go. Team's on a bye week this week.
Go to the zoo instead before they close.
Yeah, there you go.
One last time.
Well, the zoo closes after Christmas because of the nice lighting spectacular.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, that started tonight. That actually started tonight. So those of you
Greatness.
that like the Lehigh Valley Zoo,
Or
head
any
to
zoo.
it. Or any zoo. But the Lehigh Valley Zoo have a really cool light thing. I go every year.
I never
It's
went.
freaking amazing. For the East versus West NFL Pick Challenge Week 11. 11.